On the Upper West Side, a young lady was murdered. And some people are up in arms and just really scared because they're like, not in that area. But we're getting some more information about the situation now. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. So, listen, stuff can happen anywhere. And especially in this case, where from the jump, it seemed like she was specifically targeted, so it was very likely someone she knew. And from what it's looking like, that's who they're looking for. They're looking for the father of her child. Young lady, 20 years old, 3-month-old baby in the stroller, and she was shot one time, point blank range. They're looking for the father of her baby, whom she had filed some complaints against. This has me looking at the situation like this. It involves, one, choosing better. So, in terms of, yeah, and it goes both ways, but in terms of violence and safety, it really is felt by women more. Women have to be careful whom they're choosing to get involved in relationships with. Because if you're dealing with a guy that's unstable, that's violent, that's emotionally fragile, that's not good. And I've noticed that a lot of times there are certain behaviors which are red flags. They're warning signs. They're danger signs. They're like danger, danger. But those are things that some young ladies will look at as, oh, that's what's attractive. And so they'll see a guy that's really obsessive, a guy that's constantly wants to know where they're going, where they're at, guy that just flies off the handle when he thinks that they're with another guy, flirting with another guy, talking to another guy, and they'll think, oh yeah, that means he's really, I really got him. He's really like he can't get enough of me. He's really into me. And what it shows is he's just really not in control of himself. It shows that it's an individual that lacks security, that lacks peace with himself. That's not a good person to be with. There's certain things that women will find attractive. And I get that. I think what we're talking about isn't just a manly man, because these traits that you'll actually see aren't actually manly. These are some very feminine traits that these guys have. But the problem is they have feminine traits. In other words, they're very prone to emotion. Take a woman's emotionality without that level of control and combine it with a man's physicality, and you've got a dangerous situation. There's a lot of guys that don't realize that anger is an emotion. So they'll say, oh, I'm not emotional, but they get angry like that. Once again, anger is an emotion. And now I'm kind of directing this to guys. You got to get in control of your emotions. You got to be able to recognize your emotions. You got to be able to identify the emotions, and you've got to be able to control your emotions. That's not manly. Being out of control of your emotions is not a masculine trait. That's not masculinity. Being able to identify emotions, being able to control them, yes. And especially if you're dealing with a woman, if she leaves you, if she's not into you, if she's not digging you, accept it and move on. That's it. But there's this fragility that exists and that seems to be becoming more and more pervasive right now. And we're seeing the evidence of it. These dudes that are killing women that break up with them, or that deal with somebody else, that move on. These dudes lack control. These dudes lack masculinity. It's not the experiencing of emotion that makes you feminine. It's the lack of control. It's the lack of ability to deal with your emotions. It's the complete giving in to these emotions. That's the part that's not masculine. And a lot of guys aren't realizing that, aren't accepting that, and aren't dealing with that. And you've got these guys that are on the internet that'll tell you, yeah, these modern women, they're whores and they're 304s. Okay, let's say they are. Why are you in your feelings? If you don't want to deal with that type of woman, just don't deal with her. If you do, and you just don't realize it, well, number one, how aware are you? How on point are you if you're not able to realize who she is? But once you realize who she is, move on. Keep it moving. There's these bitch-made tendencies that I'm seeing from dudes. I'm seeing embraced by dudes, expressed by dudes. Like, I'm thinking of a couple of people that I've seen in the spaces. They're pretty popular, pretty influential. And I've seen levels of emotionality from some of these individuals. And I'm like, yeah, these dudes are not masculine. But if you're patterning yourself after these types of individuals, yeah, you're going to be in a place where you're easily triggered, where you're losing control. And if you do nothing to get yourself in control, you'll be in a situation where you're wind up committing violent acts against women that make you angry, women that disappoint you, women that kick you to the curb or deal with other people. Because women, remember, woman, if she wants to hurt a man, fight, nah, that's not really her weapon. Her weapon's got to be emotions. So if you're not able to deal with a woman's, and she gets angry and she attacks you emotionally, she says something that's meant to hurt you, if you don't have control over your emotions, when she hits you with these attacks, you'll fall apart, you'll be out of control, and you'll do stupid stuff. And if you want to be a man, you got to start getting yourself in control so that if that happens, you can say, you know what? Because number one, that's not a good thing. I'm not excusing that behavior, but putting your hands on a woman because of it, that's unacceptable. Doing harm to her because of it is unacceptable. So if she's saying something to try to hurt you emotionally, that lets you know how little she values you. That lets you know how little she cares about you. And that's your cue to leave. That's it. You leave, you stop dealing with her. Okay, I'm out. But that's why you have to be in control of yourself. You have to be at peace with yourself, and you have to have knowledge of yourself. People, men, it's time to start being men. That means taking control of ourselves, taking accountability for ourselves, not letting ourselves be easily controlled, manipulated, triggered, set off. Anger is emotion. You say you're a man, you're not emotional? Okay, prove it. Recognize your emotions, control your emotions, modulate your emotions. And I did a video the other day, talked about therapy. Some of us need it a lot more than others. I think it's beneficial for the vast majority of us, but some of us really need it. Some of us have been through things that we need to resolve, and some of us just don't have the tools, don't know the tools that are available to gain control of our emotions and who we are as men. And therapy may be very helpful for that. So these are some of the things we need to look at, because I'm seeing stuff happen over and over and over again. And it can't continue to go like this. Like at some point, we have to take control of ourselves and learn how to deal with life. Learn how to understand and accept rejection, hurt, pain. That's part of life. That's part of growing up. We're not children, we're not boys, we're not women. We're men. Let's be men. As always, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. But if you disagree, if you think, no, you could be as angry as you want, that doesn't matter, that doesn't make you less masculine, go ahead and give me a thumbs down and tell me, have you ever taken an anger management course? And have they ever told you in an anger management course that anger is not an emotion? I'll see you next time.